Previously on a very special Clonenheimer. Tempers flared, James Gunshills cared, saliva was shared, and you, the audience, were moved very deeply. Trust me.
Way back in the 1940s, secret government employees created the atomic bombings and dropped it right on Nagasaki. Now their clones are dead, teens now, they're gonna make it if they try. Loving, learning, sharing, judging, it's time to become Death Destroyer of worlds. It's time to watch Clone High. Her X is entertaining. Clone High. Clone High.
Truman needs to know what's next. What's next?
Hey, welcome to Campy Cast. As you can see, I didn't do the 3, 2, 1 this time, but thanks Robert Downey Jr. Thanks a lot, or Oppenheimer in general. Anyways, hello, I'm Anthony.
I'm Brian, and today Zander somehow wormed his way back into this podcast.
Again.
Hey guys, I'm back.
He's back again. He even made the thumbnail. He had some control over this one.
He had a lot of control over this one. I like to call this.
He even had the idea for this one.
This is the Xander raid episode.
Well, actually, I kind of had it too. You know, it worked out.
As well, of called this the dumps.
I might as well.
Yeah,
check out
here's the thing,
channel.
right? See,
Damn.
Barbenheimer, right? Obviously, I've expressed my distaste,
Yes,
right?
we get it.
But the Oppenheimer,
We get it. God damn.
We cannot talk about it. But then one day, I was sitting there and I was like, Clone High, Oppenheimer, and then Clone High is in high, and it's like Oppenheimer. I was like, oh my god! And then it came to me like a dramatic revelation. Bam! Clonenheimer was born. The better Barbenheimer.
It's more catchy than Barbenheimer.
Yeah, no, it rolls off the tongue pretty well.
Yeah, Clonenheimer, that works. Like I could say that like a million times and I get like worried about it. Because you know the first movie, a part of that is actually series is good instead of bad. Yeah.
We have two things to talk about today. We got Oppenheimer and Clone High, like you stated. So we got two things.
But we first gotta talk about the news. Since I'm in control here, let's first talk about how Chris Chan has officially he's been released. He's freed. He's been freed.
Chris Chan.
Yeah. So if you didn't know, if you don't know Chris Chan, you should check out there's actually quite a bit of Chris Chan documentary series. Some of them last over 100 hours, so that's fun. But specifically, I think everyone remembers this one. Chris Chan plowed his mom with his Magnum dong. Yeah, he fucked his mom.
Yeah,
He fucked
Her fucking mom.
He fucked
mom, Chris Chan.
So he's been acquitted of all charges and is now free. He's out in the wild.
Bailed out. I'm not sure the specifics on that.
No, I think he's been like acquitted, like by law. By law.
I'm not sure why. That seems.
I'm not sure why. He definitely did something bad, so I don't see why.
He definitely did the nasty and the pasty, so I'm not sure why.
Onto a less Chris Chan related news. We
could have spent the entire episode on that, but
no.
We're not doing that.
See, if I'm going to talk about the sexual activities of a man called Chris Chan, I would need to take at least 5 hours worth of my time, but I don't have that time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Everyone watch Chris Chan: A Comprehensive History.
That's like so long. Oh my god.
Yeah. No, I always try to get like through that, but then after
I never can.
Parts, I'm like, no, I don't know if I can.
No, I swear to God, I think it's like over 100 hours now. I don't know how long it goes.
Yeah, I don't know. Someday I'm gonna watch all of Chris Chan. Oh, they're on part 78 now, and
Jesus fucking Christ!
Minutes.
Jesus
I
Christ!
can do that.
No, man.
Someday I'll do it. Someday.
Yeah.
But day's not today. But anyway, speaking of Chris Chan and mom fucking, Charles Martinet is no longer the voice of Mario.
Yeah.
It's confirmed.
We kind of talked about this before. Well, I mean, sort of like when people noticed that the Super Mario Wonder voice was a bit different. I guess it was different since Charles Martinet is no longer voicing the character, which is
he's now a Nintendo ambassador or a Mario ambassador.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss the guy. Hope he moves on to bigger and better things.
Yeah.
He was a great voice. He's pretty much like he will always be Mario. You know, did a great job.
Like most Nintendo business decisions, this was handled with proper care. I appreciate what they did to pay respects to Charles.
Some people have been like assholes about it. I tend to notice they're like, how come he's not voicing him anymore? When I'm like, guys, fuck off. He's old. Let him retire.
Isn't he like
apparently? I don't know. It probably hurts his voice to do like wahoo and all that.
Yeah, it was bound to happen soon. I had a feeling, but I'm still gonna miss him.
I will say though, whoever they got to replace him did a really good job because I only noticed it was different until it was deliberately pointed out to me. So clearly, I had a ton of people fooled on this.
Yeah, same actually. I didn't notice a huge difference. So he's the guy's doing a good job at least. So I mean Mario's such an iconic character. It's bound that there's going to be some good impressions based off the character. So
but as for movies, they're currently all on hold because of the strikes. Everybody, so we have a couple of I guess delays. So we have Dune 2 delay. We also have
I thought that was going to happen with Dune 2.
We also get a Snow White. We got Snow White drama because Rachel Zegler is saying that she hates Snow White.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
They're delayed. I think I vaguely heard about this. It sounds fun.
They also are delaying new Lord of the Rings movies. Thank God. Thank God.
Oh no, I'm very sad.
And National Cinema Days today, and I didn't see anything.
I rewatched 12 Angry Men. Great movie. I'll recommend it if you haven't seen it yet.
I didn't do anything on Cinema Day. Well, actually, I guess I watched Muppets from Space today, which I guess is National Cinema Day.
That's a good way to celebrate it.
That's a good way to say. I gotta watch the movie today. I haven't watched one. Wow.
Anyways, I don't know if there's any more interesting news. If I'm being
we don't got huge news.
I mean, we
haven't had a big news week.
There's it's the end of summer. It's fine. And then there's Gran Turismo based on a true story. That's the full title now.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah. No, they changed it to based on
a true title. That sounds stupid.
Yeah, but now it is.
I have no interest in watching that movie, if I'm being honest.
Wow. It finally topped Barbie after its complete, fucking record-breaking box office numbers. So,
Christ, finally. Damn. Yeah. Okay, anyways, let's just want to get into the swing of things, Start
Barbie, there's Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Speaking of Oppenheimer, let's get into that.
It's time for Oppenheimer style. So
this is another film Zander's very passionate about, like Tar, which was his very first episode he was on.
And I'm still here.
You're still here. 4.
Chicken.
If you count both Leprechaun parts, that's 4 episodes.
I'll be on here more soon.
Only when the next Leprechaun comes out.
Leprechaun 9 better not come out soon.
No, it sucks. It's too much. Anyways, let's get into Oppenheimer. It's a good movie.
Anyway.
It's a great movie. Oppenheimer's a great movie. I've seen it twice in theaters, which is something I usually don't do with movies, but I did it here. So that's 6 hours at the theater. So I mean, I did the same thing with Endgame, so I guess that's not a huge deal.
Oh,
those 6 hours count to at least a couple minutes of Josh Peck. So you got
that's good. That's good.
I clapped when I saw him. It was great.
Speaking of the cast, there's 5,000 white men in this movie. 5,000.
A lot of damn actors.
This movie has a lot of people.
That's why when I first watched the movie, I didn't even notice Josh Peck or Devin Bostic that well. But then when I rewatched it, I noticed them immediately. So that was weird.
idiot.
Well,
no.
Well, I don't know. See, Josh Peck presses the bomb. You think he'd notice? He's like,
You notice it.
But to be fair, I am the Drake and Josh head of the podcast, so I guess I had noticed.
Even I noticed it was Josh Peck. Like, come on. I haven't even watched
I got so embarrassed internally. I was like very giddy about that. I was like, oh my god, it's him. It's him.
Anyway, it's a spoiler discussion. If history counts as spoilers, I guess.
Yeah.
The bomb went off.
Yeah.
No way.
Spoilers on what happened to Japan.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, huge spoilers. I would not want to spoil this for some people. So
no, like unironically, there's some stuff to spoil in terms of the way it, I guess, envisions history. I guess is how you can say it is.
But, you know,
so
certain things,
kind of a dramatized like retelling in parts, but
well, of course, you have to embellish some parts of it, especially to like condense such a heavy narrative into like a 3 hour. Let alone putting it in 3 hours is hard because, as you could tell early on, they're kind of like rushing to get to like all the other stuff. Not necessarily that's a bad thing. I think it kind of adds more to it because sometimes they have slightly slower moments, and you're like, oh, so I guess that's important for later. They don't really have to like stop the pacing and halt it to tell you that this part's important or this is not important because, you know, the movie has to keep going just so it can meet that runtime. If Nolan's going to release a 4-hour movie, he would need to be like Scorsese levels of popular, but, you know, he's not that. So, oh well. But yeah, the whole movie is basically, as YMS said, it's cut like a trailer, but he's wrong. But yeah, the whole movie is really fast-paced. It's very engaging for the most part. You think like having such fast-pacing would kind of halt like the importance of the subject matter, but no, this movie is incredibly heavy, and it's probably Nolan's most mature movie to me. I know like film bros suck his dick hard. I know that, but like,
a lot.
And I know, like, they have a problem with how self-important he feels, I guess, when he's, like, making movies. Like, Inception's ending, Interstellar's ending, they feel so, to me, I guess, self-serving, self-important. They don't feel important, but they're trying to act as if it's important, to me. And Interstellar has such a hollow message to me, because all it is love conquers space and time. And you think that sounds like a nice message, but for everything that the movie is trying to build up to, it doesn't feel right. If you're going to be all factual while also being completely stupid, I hate Interstellar. You kind of, I guess, how do I describe this? You kind of have to have compelling characters, but you see with Oppenheimer, I've heard someone describe this perfectly where they say it's when they're like trying to discuss the way it's edited, the way it's filmed, they kind of allow you to be in this headspace. As everyone has like said before, this is like mainly from Oppenheimer's perspective. There's two perspectives.
I think that
there's the colorized perspective.
And Strauss, played by Robert Downey Jr.
There's a colorized, I guess, Oppenheimer perspective. It's not the black and white perspective. Is not as Nolan says as the objective perspective. I think what he means is like factual perspective, where it's like Strauss hates Oppenheimer, but not for a really important reason, but for the most petty reason possible.
Yeah,
and that's
doesn't like look at the bigger picture, and I think that works.
And
well.
This is probably RDJ's most, I guess, subtle performance in like a long time. He hasn't really done much outside of the MCU within the past decade, but this feels like a very important role.
Movie, right? What a great movie.
Yeah, Matthew picked it up from the DVD store. Yeah.
It's a great movie. Go watch Doolittle. She'll talk about that.
You reminded me of that. Yeah, poor guy was stuck with cape shit for over a decade. Yeah. Now he gets to be in a Nolan movie.
Now people are saying he should be for best supporting actor, and you know what?
You know what? Yeah,
sure.
He deserves that.
Yeah.
He's great in this movie.
He's great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. He did get a Best Actor nomination for Blackface once, so that was fun.
But I forgot he did that. Yeah,
and so
y'all would love it.
Yeah, and he could be for Best Supporting and not lose to the Joker. It's kind of a cycle because the last time he was nominated, Heath Ledger got nominated, so it's like a cycle. So it makes sense,
okay.
Yeah, and RDJ plays a very important role in this movie, and I really appreciate him in this. I guess we're viewing it mainly from him, but even then, wouldn't say it's an objective perspective, but more of looking at the actual reality of like the aftermath. So yeah, it's very nice. I appreciate that, and the way they switch between that, it doesn't feel jarring. For some reason, I listened to the latest Sardonic cast, and YMS said that it was
Rip Ralph.
He said, "Yeah, Rip Ralph, goodbye, salute." And he said that the editing and cutting back to the courtroom house, he said it dragged and that it was basically regurgitating information. And I genuinely do not understand what he means by that, because the movie is, yes, relaying the same information from the previous scene. I get that. But you see, you're seeing it happen in real time for Oppenheimer, and then you're seeing the aftermath and what it means to the overall case and the overall court case. And
his impact and whatnot.
His
like
impact.
Yeah, it's supposed to like intentionally show different perspectives.
That third act especially tries to tie it all together, and it makes sense. Like Rami Malek, during one scene, he's just in the background when Oppenheimer's visiting the football field where they're testing out some other stuff, and then he appears again, having them sign, wanting like Oppenheimer to sign a petition based on a bunch of different government like facilities that they're wanting him to be gone, and then he just Rami Malek is kind of played for laughs in that scene because he like throws away the petition signing, and he like Rami Malek awkwardly tries to like pick it up, and it's like kind of funny to me. and I just think, yeah, this dude like won a Best Actor like a couple years ago. What the fuck happened? And then we cut back to the courthouse, and he appears and basically reveals Strauss's true intentions, and completely flips the entire page of like everything that's happening, and is actually a very important person in the story. And I don't know how you can miss that. Or maybe it's just because YMS is bored and being subjective again. Who knows?
It's fucking boring, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I like this movie a lot. I do like, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, this is good. But I think the rewatch actually improved a lot of stuff for me. And then I was like, I like this even more. It's like, I think also just the cinematic experience was better. You know, I was in a better cinema and whatnot. So that was also cool, just like with a bigger screen and better sound and whatnot. So
yeah, it was a great theater experience.
Oh yeah. Okay, if we're talking about IMAX experience, of course I didn't get to see in 70mm like some.
Like intended by Nolan. So
like sorry,
I saw it in IMAX.
Sorry, I can't see one of the 36 like 70mm theaters that are mostly located in North America. Fuck you.
Really,
come on.
Nolan? Really?
I mean, I get that's like the true way to view the movie, but IMAX laser will makes fucking this movie feel so rich, and I feel like it's Nolan's best.
It's shot
like,
so great.
I love the movie so much.
The big bomb testing scene, you know, just like everything with the visuals and the sound design, it all culminates in such a beautiful scene.
I love the way
that part's so tense. I love
it. Josh Peck gets to press the button.
Yeah,
I love the usage of the soundtrack by Ludwig von Horst or whatever his name is.
Great soundtrack too.
And Can You Hear the Music is like one of the best movie soundtracks of the year. I love that track so much.
I think
I had like actual chills at that part during the theater. It's such a
the perfect part where Oppenheimer poisons the apple with cyanide, and you see the fact that like he's trying to stop it because this other important dude, played by Kenneth Branagh,
director of Artemis Fowl and Thor, and the Cinderella remake.
And he.
Oh, that was him. Okay.
Yeah, and then he's explaining about how Oppenheimer works and why he's kind of failing at the lab, and asking him to try. And he asks him, "Can you hear the music, Robert?"
That's the name of the soundtrack.
Yeah, and then it cues to the track, and it's so cool because when you're first hearing the track, you're kind of thinking this has a bit of hope to it, and there's a lot of like inspired tone to it when you first view it. And I guess what you're seeing in like Oppenheimer's thought process is the vision of what quantum mechanics can do and what it should be able to do through the visions in his head, such as the bending rods that sort of phase in reality while Oppenheimer's sitting in bed, or the flashes of the bomb exploding, or the particles materializing and like growing larger. There's like small details to that, and the way it's cut together feels so, I guess, perfect. And I love the way that it's recontextualized the second time you hear it. Because the second time you hear Can You Hear the Music is not the same track. It's called Destroyer of Worlds. And it's at the end of the movie where Strauss is wondering, and he finally like breaks. He like his temper just completely breaks in that part. And
Yeah,
he's like,
that's a great scene.
It's like he didn't want to be known for Hiroshima. He wanted to be known for Hiroshima, but no, he's the father of the atomic bomb, and I gave him that role. And he's saying that he deserves credit.
Yeah.
When the guy who plays Solo in Solo: A Star Wars Story, who's also Strauss's lawyer,
this movie has
wait, that was
everybody.
him?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I haven't even seen that movie. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, and he says maybe what Einstein and Oppenheimer were talking about, because Strauss was
nothing to do with him, yeah.
Yeah, Strauss was suspecting that, like, oh no, he must
have
turned all the scientific
after what like happened at one of the science
Yeah.
meetings. So
And
I
it's
think that's what's interesting. How he's
you're
like,
you're expecting him to be right about that, but then he says that single line where it's, maybe they were talking about something more important.
Yeah, something that completely goes over his head.
And the way he delivers that line is done with a bit of resentment, because he's just his lawyer. Strauss, that dude, that a lawyer doesn't really care about Strauss. He just cares about, because he hired him to protect his ass. He doesn't really agree with him on everything. And so he reveals a bit of his true nature in that single line, and then we cut to
nature.
Yeah. And we cut back to Oppenheimer, and at first we see them at a long distance multiple times, and we're reminded of that every single time. Not in a ham-fisted way, but you're like, it's like naturally woven into the story. And the way they use scale and like close-ups and then wide shots, you're kind of led to believe this wide shot is important because they don't use wide shots as often as close-ups. And so when you're getting close up to this incident, you're like, oh, okay. We see Einstein for the first time having a full conversation with Robert, because the first time we see him, he's just passing by with this angry face, this resenting, almost saddened face. And the second time, he's just looking over these calculations. And I guess Albert Einstein is kind of an important plot like divider, because he's at the first act, then he's like around the second act, and he's around the third act, and in the third act it just kind of all culminates together where you're wondering what the hell did they talk to each other about. And in American
back near the ending, and I like that a lot.
No one actually because no one actually really knows that Oppenheimer actually did those things, because in American Prometheus, the book that this is based off on, they're just suspecting things that have happened, not really saying factual things for some parts, which is why this movie feels a bit embellished, but in the correct way. And, you don't know that Oppenheimer, because people are suspecting that Oppenheimer didn't put the cyanide in the apple at all. Some people say he put something different in there. Some people say he, got away with it, that he could have murdered them. And he did get charged. He was sent to the counselor about it, but nothing really came of it. And it's such a small detail, but it kind of matters, especially when you're considering, the ending part.
Yeah.
But what Nolan and what the book suspects is that Einstein and Oppenheimer, based on other things, they were probably talking about the consequences of their creations. And there's this specific line where while the music is playing, where Einstein's describing how they will honor you as some sort of American. They will try to forgive you. but it's not really for Oppenheimer. It's for America itself that will pretend to cover up the true moral implications of the bomb and would rather try to pass it on to Oppenheimer and forgive themselves of all guilt. And it's such a cleverly woven line that you don't even notice how important that really is. But it's like one of the last lines in the movie. And then Oppenheimer talks about the, I guess, statistics that Albert was reading from before during the second act. And he suspected that a chain reaction would never end when releasing the atomic bomb.
Yeah,
all that Oppenheimer
said on the world. It's like
and then all Oppenheimer said is, "I believe we did. I believe we," and he doesn't need to elaborate because you understand exactly what he means by that.
Yeah, I like how they go back to that scene near the end. Kind of revealing that.
Because he believes that we have destroyed the world. We have created an almost unstoppable force. Not that, because we all know about threats of like North Korea, like wanting to fight people, then China wanting to fight people, then Russia wanting to fight people, and it's a cycle over and over again. And currently we're in a Ukrainian war, which that's more smaller, but let's not forget, the only time we've actually released an atomic bomb was Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And so I don't think Oppenheimer is talking about the scientific, I guess, impact, but rather the moral impact and rather the psychological impact of what has been created. And so you're left to not any words or anything, but you're left with a visual impression of what Oppenheimer thinks is going to happen in the future, what he believes his creation will create. Because Albert was saying that eventually you're going to have to face the consequences of your own invention. And so we see it happen. We see him getting rewarded, but then we also see something worse. Instead of a vision of something bright in quantum mechanics, it's mostly just bombs, missiles, a never-ending chain reaction of fire engulfing the earth, and that's all there is. And that's all you're left to see.
One scene and then I really like in the movie.
You just build up to that zoom in. You build up to that zoom in, and you're getting too. It feels like you're getting too close, because a lot of the movie you're given open shots and then wide shots, and the way they use that is mostly to really hinge on the scale of the situation and also the mysteriousness of the situation. But now that you're up close with them, you're kind of understanding that, oh, this is it. This is what it's all led up to. Just a never-ending war. And Oppenheimer, all he could do is just shut his eyes. He can't stop it. He could just stop thinking about it.
Just watch it. Yeah.
Watch it happen. And it's over because it's not a dramatic scene or anything. It's just emptiness. And it's over.
It's a beautiful ending. Also a sad one.
Probably one of my favorite endings of any movie now, because everything about it feels almost too perfect. But yeah, I'm just talking about one scene, man.
Yeah.
As for the rest of the movie, it really I think it just checks off everything I like about movies, and also just it nails everything it's trying to do. And so I have no doubts this is probably going to be my favorite of the year. So yeah,
it's one of the best ones, I'd say, definitely. That we have gotten a lot of terrible movies this year, to be honest. But yeah, it's a good one.
There's been way less terrible movies, but you know,
compared to 2022, definitely.
Oh yeah. We've gotten a lot of fun movies, you know, Dungeons and Dragons. We've also gotten a lot of, you know, bad movies, but there's nothing ever really sunk to the lowest. And so I'm glad that instead of getting the Tenet, we got an Oppenheimer. So, Elemental. Anyway, yeah.
I guess we could. I guess I do have some more stuff to say. I really love the scene where everyone's cheering for Oppenheimer due to his creation and the way they like convey his emotions of anxiety and whatnot. I think they convey his like emotions through sound incredibly well, which is why I really hope this film like gets credited for its sound design because I think it's really impressive for a film.
Oh yeah, the way everything like distorts and like goes around in that scene is really well done.
One of the few small VFX things they do is if you remember when Oppenheimer's on the train, there's like the walls like start to like phase out. There's a couple moments where like the background just starts to literally like phase out of each other and like combine, as they say, fission and fusion. And there's like a constant theme of that. And I really like that part. And then there's also the whole Trinity test scene, which phenomenal scene. And the main thing I like about it is how unsatisfying it is. How unsatisfying the whole thing is, because it's not meant to be. Because I feel like this is a sort of self-commentary on the fact that Nolan movies always have these like revelations near the end. But in this movie, there's no revelations. This is just facts and logic that the world has forever changed. He has become death, destroyer of worlds.
The quote from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. From last episode. Remember that? Remember that?
Yeah.
Best part of that movie.
It's a great quote, though.
Yeah, it's an iconic quote. He even says it in the that one scene where
Florence Pugh gets real naked.
Yeah.
Hey,
I remember when that
I got to see your boobies. Yeah.
Like, I remember when that scene happened. Like when I first saw it, the whole theater was like laughing. I guess. I gotta say something funny. Like that. I don't know why. It's like
I don't entirely get that part. Why were they like? I don't know.
People were saying it was like a 15-minute long like sexathon.
Yeah, no. People keep saying that. I don't know where that came from at all.
What?
I'm so
no.
Like, who the fuck came up with that rumor? Of course, it's not gonna be like a 15-minute sex scene. There was no way there was.
15 minutes. Imagine like 15 minutes of this 3-hour movie being.
Was it gonna be like Nymphonic, where they just like every scene's like a sex scene or some shit? No. Of course they wouldn't.
Was Oppenheimer gonna orgasm when the bomb?
Were they gonna Euphoria? Were they gonna Euphoria Oppenheimer? Fuck no, they wouldn't do that.
Okay.
Again, damn.
Maybe it's in the director's cut.
Yeah.
No one just couldn't.
Can we get the 4 hours of direct cut where it's just a 15-minute sex scene? Like it's not even fake. It's not even a fake scene. It's actually just Cillian Murphy and Florence Pugh having sex.
Yeah. I still don't get the part where they're both naked in the chairs. I don't know. I don't know if I entirely got that.
That's a very obvious metaphor, because when you're in the courthouse scene, remember when he gets naked during that? Because it's just sort of to show how vulnerable he is in that moment. Because that sort of like half courtroom scene that's basically made to basically ruin him works. They brought him down to pure naked. So yeah, and Florence Pugh is the only character, or they're just like open with each other both in a visual way and in a sort of talk way, where they understand where they come from politically and from like mind wise. Like Florence Pugh can just understand Oppenheimer immediately, and every time she asks him not to bring flowers, he's gonna bring flowers. He doesn't care, and he said it.
Yeah,
he would be there. He would be there for her every single way, but no.
Yeah.
And then that's when the foot stomping happens, when she, kills herself or gets assassinated or whatever, because the movie is left vague as to whether or not she did. And that's also a brilliant choice, because we also, logically, in history, we don't know if the real version of her actually did get assassinated or committed suicide.
Yeah.
Because,
I don't know too much about, like, the overall like historical story about this, about the Oppenheimer and the atomic bomb and whatnot. I know what it is and stuff like that and how it's used, but not that knowledgeable of it. But it was definitely interesting to see this unfold, and I was definitely hooked to what was happening.
Yeah, the way they use sound as well. So good, because
like stated, that's
usually we complain about how Nolan's sound mixing, but this time he really perfects it, because
I think he needs to for a film like this, so I think it worked well.
There's a foot stomping motif. Everyone knows about that one.
That's
then
good.
sometimes where like things start to like phase out where you don't really hear anyone else, or you hear this like constant droning noise, but not in the Hans Zimmer way where it's just affecting the whole movie and it gets me out of the picture and how I hate it and I hate Inception. But you know, it's like it fits very well, and I appreciate that I could hear the dialogue. Thank you, Nolan. Ludwig.
Yeah. Okay.
Van Housen, this guy, you know, he did the Tenet soundtrack, which everyone hated for some reason, even though I kind of liked it. Of course, it's not mixed well, but it's a good soundtrack because some parts of that you can actually hear the tracks being reversed, like being actually reversed.
Wow, that sounds cool.
But it's actually still comprehensible music as well at the same time. But in this, Nolan basically couldn't get Hans Zimmer because he was busy on Dune. And so Ludwig was brought on, and the one thing Nolan told him is he wanted to use a lot of string music. Violin music is very important to the score because the way Nolan thinks of it is that it's a way, because he thinks a violin is so easily interpretable because you can make a violin sound soothing, you can make it sound terrifying, you can make it sound like just so panicky. You can make it feel like it's gonna ruin your day. A violin can basically be used for any emotion, and so it's brilliantly used in the score throughout it because the violin slightly changes each time you hear the music thing, because it just slightly changes and it gets more chaotic and you get these like really strange noises. And yeah, I love the soundtrack a lot too because it really just, it doesn't feel like it is enforcing an emotion, because the violin is so subjective that you can change it at like a moment's notice. And you know, that's why when you hear the music can either be interpreted as something horrible or something like good. Because you know, I saw this one comment on a YouTube short. I know, a person using YouTube short and crazy, and this dude says, yeah, people are gonna use this specific like soundtrack for motivational videos, and while others are going to use it for you know, terrifying facts you didn't know or some shit. So yeah, I love the soundtrack and the way it is also subjective in a different way, in the way it evolves throughout the score, throughout the movie. And yeah, I think I've been going on a while about
I still have some stuff to say, but I definitely agree that everything, this film works really well technically, and definitely I'd say like the reason I may not think it's amazing, it's mostly just a subjective thing. It's like a big movie, 3 hours, it can sometimes lose me. It's kind of subjective.
Oh, first watch felt like an entire like tsunami washing over me, and then the second watch was like, okay, I get it, I understand it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the exact same thing that happened with me, and I feel like that's why I enjoyed it more on the second watch. Not to mention, like I said, it was in a better theater, so
see, for me, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I wasn't bored, but I could definitely tell it was very long, if that makes sense. It felt like I was in the theater for a very long time. Because I think because
not a bad thing.
Like we've talked about,
really
this movie has a lot to no, definitely not. Just like you said, the movie has a lot to like unpack.
I didn't feel the runtime in a bad way, but I just felt like, wow, there's a lot of things to this, but also it's so long. It's like perfectly paced, but also it's so long, and I have to like think about all these things and the moral implications of my own, you know, of technology, of evolution, of whatever. Like
big movie,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Lord.
See, I'd love to rewatch it, but that's the main thing holding me back. Also, I've been to the theater like 3 times this month. I don't want to go again for an Oppenheimer.
I went to see TMNT, and then back to back, I also saw Mission Impossible 2. Wait, no, I see Mission Impossible 2. That's my favorite one, though. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
But yeah, I saw Dead Reckoning like again, like back to back. It's like, oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I've also been to the theaters a lot this summer, so yeah. I also performances are good. I know that goes without saying, but a lot of the acting is good.
Yeah, the guy who played John Connor in Terminator Genesis has like probably
he was in there. God,
Yeah, he was the guy that was like
really
fucking interrogating. He was like interrogating like everyone in the courthouse, finding Mr. Garrison.
Oh my god, that was him.
Yeah, and he's so good.
God.
You don't even realize that's fucking John Connor from that stupid.
I know that's such a that third act is so good. I wouldn't even register that it was him.
Yeah, that was him.
This movie really does have everybody. Jesus Christ.
All right.
Devin Boston gets a couple lines in. He's the one that fucking vomits and like during like the American crowd scene, which is probably one of the most exciting.
Man, I was so happy when I recognized him. I was like, oh my god, it's Devin Boston.
Yeah, he asks a question one time, then he says another line, and then he also barfs. So that he got it just made me think of the Roger Gruhl scene where he's just doing fake barf pranks.
Yeah,
so I was just waiting for
that interview clip.
I was just waiting for him to like. I was just waiting for him to like say, "Oh, I'm not barfing. Here's the fake barf," to like Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I saw that Nolan interview clip where he mentions Roger Gruhl. That's really funny.
Yes, it's like, Roger Gruhl, man. It's like, wow.
Gets his moment. And he did. He barfed. He got his moment.
He got his moment.
Congrats.
Rami Malek got his moment. RDJ got a lot of moments I really enjoyed. And, I know people say the women in this movie were kind of underplayed, but I like them a lot. Florence Pugh delivers a sort of, I guess, understated performance. I like that one a lot.
Blunt is good. I like her character, how they like...
I like how... she has a sort of gray area where she does think Oppenheimer should do these things and should, do this for the crowd, but she internally does not like Robert. She hates her marriage. She hates taking care of the baby, but she does it for the greater good, and that leaves me a lot to think about.
Yeah, she slowly becomes Roberta Pumpington, ignoring the alcohol.
And then another thing about it is that she's ignored just as much as Bloberta. So, and the thematic implication of that decision also adds a lot, because now you think about Oppenheimer's a womanizer. I always forget that.
They do a good job at showing Oppenheimer's
classic Oppenheimer.
So that's also done well. A great movie.
Yeah,
I respect a lot of it.
Yeah.
Isn't this a JFK name drop, which they dropped like a fucking...
Oh, yeah.
That
made me kind of laugh internally, even though that's not even a joke. It's like, haha, JFK.
One guy was really against you. His name is John F. Kennedy.
You'll be seeing more of JFK later.
And by will, I mean won't.
Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
Wow.
Yeah. You guys have anything else? I mean, I wish I could say more, but it's like a big movie,
I don't know.
I mostly ranted.
Yes, I know.
I don't know. I kind of let you ramble since you were covering.
Yeah, you seem even more passionate about it than we do. I did have some cool things to mention, and I do agree with a lot what you said. It is a great movie that does a lot of...
I don't know.
I think I was a lot more clear than when I did Tar, because I only saw Tar once around that time, so yeah. We need to do that.
I think I like this more than Tar.
I'd agree. Yeah,
that's fair. That's actually fair, because I love both of these movies, so it's fine.
Yeah. I don't know. See, for me with Oppenheimer, right, I tend to know, not everyone, mind you, but a lot of the discourse I seem to see around it is like comparing it to other movies specifically.
Stupid. It's so bad. But the one part of the Oppenheimer discourse I do like is all the memes. I love them.
Oh no, I love Oppenheimer memes. They're so funny.
They're so funny. I love when people like use that Truman scene with. I haven't even mentioned that. That scene's so good. Like Gary Oldman just shows up. Like a Nolan like traditional like guy. He appears again and he plays Truman. And he's so good in that one scene because he's such a dick in that scene. Like, good God. He's like, don't let that crybaby back in again. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think I have one
with a lot of characters like Strauss in a lot of ways.
But you can't sympathize with Truman. Like, you can't.
Truman's just a psycho.
No.
Yeah.
He's like, I bombed Hiroshima. He's like, I bombed Hiroshima. You didn't. And
Bro's willing to take credit for all of it.
It's not that he's like maniacally evil. He's just selfish, and that's what makes it so interesting.
He's an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that he appears for one scene and then people like meme that scene on Twitter, like, Oppenheimer, blood on my hands, and then insert Truman quote here, or like, I did this one meme where I said, "Oh, Oppenheimer's blood on my hands." I did like the traditional meme format, but instead of Truman saying, "Don't let that crybaby back in," I replaced it with the Shadow the Hedgehog "fuck my wife" thing.
Yeah, I saw that meme you made.
Yeah.
That's
It's
funny.
great.
Yeah.
I don't know, most of the memes I just see screenshots of Oppenheimer himself, that one near the end. I just see that a lot.
Those specific ones where it's just like, oh, here's Oppenheimer staring out into space for no reason.
Yeah, that's even the thumbnail.
There's this gif. There's this gif. It says a new JPEG 3 drop. There's a lot of good ones out there. And it's just
Yeah, specific.
Yeah, this part's memed a lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot of meme scenes because you also have people memeing Robert Downey Jr. where they do that other Robert Downey Jr. meme where he just say, "Hi, I'm Robert Downey Jr." but instead he's in black and white instead. It's so stupid. Oh, there's a lot of great ones. Oh yeah, there's this scene. People meme that one a lot. And there's a lot of ones where it's just like, oh, Cillian Murphy's face is just memeable for some reason.
Exactly.
I don't know.
And he's also
something about it just becomes funny if used in meme context. With
because it's so serious. Because it's such serious and sad scenes that it just turns into memes. It's funny. This is the Oppenheimer style one. That's one of my favorites. Oppenheimer style. That one's my favorite.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones we could talk about.
You have to bring it back to Barbenheimer again, but I'll take Oppenheimer memes over whatever quirky fucking.
Okay, Barbie has Ken Sweep. I love that Ken Millhouse thing, but that's it. That's all they have.
I mean, that's its moment, but Oppenheimer memes are definitely funnier.
Oh, she's.
Anyway. Yeah, and then there's Oppenheimer in 12
also,
seconds.
Oppenheimer's better, but
where Oppenheimer in 12 seconds is just like, that film on my first bad bitch, and it just cuts to just a bunch of like really loud music that plays over like just Oppenheimer staring. It's funny.
Anyways,
there's a lot of music like that.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm ready to wrap this up. You know, I don't know if I have anything else to say.
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
Yeah,
I think we're good.
Rector's good. Damon's good. It's a good movie. Recommend.
Yeah, Matt Damon was really good.
Plays one of the general.
Oh, let's not forget Josh Peck.
Yeah, we mentioned him already.
Push the button.
Yeah,
but
big moment. Biggest moment in his career.
Yeah, biggest moment.
Unironically, I was really happy this movie was good because of Josh Peck. The thing is, I think I talked about back when we did that Drake and Josh episode 2, and that was a while ago. But yeah, I talked because he's unironically good on Drake and Josh in like that sitcom role. So I was really hoping he'd like get a good bit in this because he's a great actor. People just don't use him for anything. But Nolan recognized his talents. He has a nice little bit. He presses the. I hope this leads to a Josh Peck renaissance, please.
Yeah.
Can also Devin Bostic get one too? Yeah.
Devin Bostic needs a renaissance. Could they can
they do that?
Can we have like a Brendan Fraser come back for both of them? I really want that, but
yeah.
Man, what if you got bigger roles? They could have gotten nominated for something. That'd be funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we'll get to the ratings.
Well, not as much as they needed.
Okay, what's your guys' ratings?
I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10.
I 8 on this one.
Higher.
Higher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I'm speaking of higher.
I can see a 9 on rewatch, but I don't want that.
Anyway, speaking of higher, Clone High.
Well, didn't you forget your rating?
That was a good transition.
Well, we all know it. It's a 100. It's
on the Zander
scale. Under 100, everyone knows.
Yeah.
Anyway. 10 out of 10.
Anyways,
now it's time to get to what I really wanted to do this episode for.
Clone High.
Session. Clone High time.
Yeah.
Clone High.
It's a show. So there's 13 episodes. It was created by Phil Lord and Chris Miller, which you might know from stuff like the Lego Movie and Into the Spider-Verse and 21 Jump Street, all that stuff, you know. all great stuff, but it all started here. This is one of their most important projects, and it still holds up really well.
First big thing.
Also, this is the original Clone High season, not the stupid reboot that I keep seeing. That stupid.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to take a rant here because I cannot take it anywhere else. Because the
remake looks. The
ranted about the
Clonenheimer
revival so much. Right.
Yeah.
You understand?
Abraham Lincoln, you are canceled.
I keep seeing that everywhere. It's so bad.
Anyway.
It looks terrible. I'm
gonna have to rant, even though I know privately I've discussed this stupid fucking reboot like thousands of times. I spoke about the original Clonenheimer a lot because I love that show, but I've also spoken a lot about the stupid remake or reboot or whatever they're doing because it sucks and their explanation for it fucking sucks. So yeah, I guess I have to do that too. Yeah. But Clone High 2001 is good.
Yeah, I was very interested in finally watching it.
2002.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah.
Sorry.
Only one season of this. Yeah, that was kind of canceled after, but we'll get into that later. Of the interesting conflict that happened later, that led it to being canceled, like Abraham Lincoln. Kill me. Anyways, it's a great show. Pretty simple premise, Basically, it falls around the clones of historical figures going to a high school together.
Yeah.
So it's a fun premise.
Back in the 1980s.
Secret government employees create,
famous guys and ladies,
and then using genetic copies. Now the clones, they're
sexy teens now.
Make it if
they try. Love and learn and share. Judge. Time to laugh. Catchy theme song.
That's basically the premise. It's a great theme song.
If you want to know how this show was even made in the first place, basically, Lord and Miller, basically what happened is they grew up together making short films, blah blah blah. They made a bunch of animations as a kid, that inspired them to make their own anime movies, and they're iconic figures in animation today because of they helped make Spider-Verse. They also did Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. They also did a couple live action comedies of the 21 Jump Street movies. Those guys are great. They originally attended Dartmouth College, and it doesn't matter what they studied there because the main thing that you want to get out of the information from there is that they worked on the school newspaper and they had their own comics that released on there, and somehow that got the attention of Michael Eisner. If you know Defunct Land, you might remember his name. And he's also the then chairman of Disney. And according to Lord Miller, Eisner brought the profile to their attention to fellow Disney executives, and they got a 2-year development deal at Walt Disney Television Animation, which is why Touchstone Television is at the end of every Clone High episode, at least for the original series.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah,
and also because because originally they were gonna pitch it to Fox as well, and they made connections at Disney, but they didn't take the deal, so they took Clone High to Fox, which was a great idea, but then they were like, nah. And then they passed, but they got part of the ownership. But then MTV bought it back, and then it also got split into Bill Lawrence, the third creator of Clone High, into his company. And so basically, Clone High's rights were split apart one by one, piece by piece, which is why it was so hard to get this revival made. So yeah.
And then it finally happened. Okay. It turned out to be shit from what I've heard. And what I've seen. I
don't want to get it.
Let's not going to get it now.
Let's talk about
it. Doesn't even have
Clone High was basically made because Lord and Miller basically hated every single teen drama that ever existed.
Satire of that. And that's
specifically, they really hated Dawson's Creek and also and Beverly Hills 90210. That show.
Okay.
And that's why they every episode is introduced as a very special episode.
And a
of
very
Clone High.
special episode of Clone. Yeah, it's a clear parody of it, just by the way it's written. And
yeah, Clonenheimer was developed since they were at college at Dartmouth. It was originally just called Clone High School USA. That's
Clone
a very hard title to say.
Yeah, Clone High is just better. More simple.
Yeah, Clone High is Clone High is what it was called in the. That's what Lord Miller wanted to call it, but that was only for Canadians. In the U.S., for some reason, it was called Clone High. Or no, I forget which was which, but in other places, it's just called Clone High USA. So yeah, the original title somehow was integrated into international versions of the title, so that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny that this was developed as such like a parody of that stuff from the time when it was on MTV, which was where this shit was like most popular.
And another thing is when Clone High got a meme like revival in 2020, people really got obsessed with the idea of Joan FK and other ships and took the show seriously and missed the point of the show.
That's weird. I don't take.
It's so weird. Clone High is nice elements, but
I somewhat agree that it's like a parody and it's a complete shallow show. But at the same time, I kind of agree with those obsessive fans because I kind of care about what's happening in the show. So I don't know.
I don't know. See, I get that, but also, yeah, this show is not entirely a farce. It has genuine moments, but I forgot people got super hooked on the drama in this show because it's inherently based on it being stupid and comedic, which is why I love it. Don't get me wrong, this show is super funny, but yeah, I don't know.
There's something actually kind of sad about the show, but like at the same time, it's so funny that you kind of forget about it anyway. So.
Yeah.
But then the finale kind of hits you with start over, and then everyone freezes, and so it's like, oh my god, I have conflicting feelings in terms of the tone of the show. Not that's a bad thing. I think it handles it very well between like serious and not serious. I mean genuine and comedic.
Yeah.
And there's something nice about that. The first episode.
Do we go episode by episode when we talk about this?
Yeah, actually, we can. There's only like 13. We can do that.
Yeah.
I think we can. So anyway, there's a Escape to Beard Mountain, A Rope of Sand.
Which, by the way, the show has really weird episode titles. I assume because I love that.
No, I love them. They're so funny.
Yeah, this one is a solid start. Great start to the great first episode. I think it's a great.
So we get introduced first off with Abe growing a feet taller and Joan has boobs.
Okay.
That's
It's a joke. You can tell because the character of Gandhi, who is like the typical lovable sidekick character.
We'll talk about his impact on the show later.
Yeah, but he is one of the best characters. He's like the fan favorite.
You grew like a foot tall. You grew like a pair of breasts.
The show is also really quotable. I can't wait to get more into that later. It's so so funny. Oh my god.
And I will. I mean won't.
I forgot to wash my hands. I love this. Yeah, it's a really solid first episode. So basically, Abe wants to impress the girl he sims for, Cleopatra, and it's kind of funny seeing how badly
it feels like a parody of like regular show relationship episodes, except it was before that. Somehow,
except this is supposed to be a joke, and that's serious.
Yeah, like the scene where the classic scene where Abe like holds on to glass and
then he breaks the
glass, and then,
the glass breaks, and you see his like arm.
Abe, I think you're bleeding. It's like not now.
And he like holds his expression the entire time.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
And then like Cleo leaves and it says, "Hey Cleo, but yes, I've grown longer sideburns."
Oh no, I love the part right before that where Gandhi's talking to Cleo and they were apparently like
they were like actually foster siblings. Was like, but you threw me away because your image.
I forgot about that. Yeah. I love
that's
that.
So great for you. So funny.
Yeah. Also.
And it has Mr. Sheepman. I think before.
Clone guy. Yeah.
It's my favorite character.
Is it Mr. Sheepman?
I was in the Death Maze once. It was like, he's so cute. I like him.
Sheep DNA.
I also like
sheep DNA.
I like the plot of this one, you know, with Abe trying to get alcohol beer.
Yeah, no, it sets up like all the. It's like the typical high school thing, but it also sets up everything that the show is, where it keeps the formulas like simple that allows the comedy to just flourish and just completely amazing. It's so good.
There's so many good jokes in this first one. I love when Abe gets Genghis Khan to get.
I am 21. I am 21. I am not 21.
I remember that's a great joke. I love the.
There's a scene where it's like, I won't be able to get actual like beer. It's like, just say you accidentally said a keg full of beards. It's like, Gandhi, that makes no sense. This is like, and then Gandhi imagines it. And like, wow, Gandhi, this is an awesome party. And then he gives a thumbs up with like a chick and with beards. It's so funny.
Yeah, I also like this stuff with Gandhi like being with Gandhi being part of this like call center thing, and then he's like, and then it leads to him like getting
he's like, well, if I did that, I would kill myself. It's like, hello.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. I like the Van Gogh with Van Gogh basically.
Would Gandhi ever put you on speaker? No!
He's showing it to everyone. I love Gandhi. Yeah. He's so hilarious. I also like this.
Hey, Joe, nice taser you got there. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah. I also really like the stuff with the principal character, Principal Scudworth, and his butler, Mr.
Paper hat.
I loved his plot of him trying to understand the students at Clonenheimer for the Board of Shadowy Figures. Wait
until they know that
raise it.
Raise the roof. Raise it.
He's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
I love it.
See the pool? They flipped the bitch. That's from a different episode. That's from a different episode.
It's a great start. I love the plot. It's like a classic teen parody type plot of him just trying to get.
Wait till they know that I have secret plans for my secret clones. You're on speaker tone. It's so good.
Oh yeah, and I can't wait to talk about when we see his real plan and how funny it is. Like, I can't wait to get to that. Yeah. I just like the fact that it's like that everyone is just like doesn't even notice that it's non-alcoholic because they're all just stupid. That's pretty realistic.
It's like, maybe it's just the beer talking. Oh, definitely not. And it's like so stupid. Like, there's no way that they could actually think that they're drunk, but just by the pure, I guess, symbolism of the beer, it somehow makes people believe that they are drunk, and it's funny.
Yeah,
I like that funny. From both like a commentary perspective and from like an actual being really funny.
I suppose that makes sense because that's what happens in the raisins episode way later. Because the raisins, they're just raisins, but they think that they're getting them high. It's a good parallel.
Yeah, I love that episode. I'll get to that. We can't try to get to that one. Yeah, this one's.
Basically, I can just name up every joke of this episode because I've seen this pilot like 3 times already. It's so good.
It's a great introduction.
Yeah, I love it so much. It introduces every single character in the most like efficient way possible, and there's no fat. There's not much fat to this series, especially considering it has a 13 episode run, and it's fun. I appreciate this pilot, and let's not forget the best part, Peony show.
Ooh, that's true.
Yeah, and also he apparently kissed Cleo for some reason, so that joke always makes me laugh. Where he just cut to like Mr. P and say he kissed the peanut, and it's so stupid.
Yeah, I also like the scene that is like also a mix of being kind of touching but also kind of funny with Mr. Butlertron and Joan with this swing set. I like that scene.
It's a weird. Like at first, it starts as a joke.
Yeah,
because it starts up as a joke, but then you realize like Butlertron is actually trying to give advice.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but also kind of which is really funny, but also kind of.
Anyway, we're on that specific scene when Abe and Cleo first kiss. There's 3 different song variations. Depending on which version you watch.
Now I've heard about this, like different cuts.
So originally, the original intention was to play this like specific Dawson Creek song, but then it changed in the U.S. or Canada. But for the 2 different versions, there is the one on I watched this on Hurl Watch, and that has like the USA version where it plays a different song, and the original version has a completely different song. And I gotta be honest, the USA version is better. Oddly enough, I think it fits more. But the original, that's just easy to point out. Besides that, the USA version does a lot of bad things because they remove a lot of licensed songs. You know, the iconic final song, "Start Over" at the end of the show, is straight up removed in in the USA version, and it just plays generic rock music. So that sucks.
According to my, I believe my cartoon site had the Canadian version, which has like more of the licensed music and stuff. So that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
I got the best superior version of Clone High.
Episode 13. Yeah,
it's a weird. Yeah, just a weird scenario for it to be in.
There's a weird listing thing sometimes where for some reason Snowflake Day was aired last.
We'll be going in air order, so that's why it might be like confusingly different. I guess with the finale like airing before the.
Yeah, which is really weird because as the narrator, who's by the way debatably the funniest character on the show, always says, next time on a very special Clone High. Like then he'll be lying to you because that's not what the next episode is.
I know it confused like when I was watching it was like it confused me so much. Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
Although I will say though,
I love the fourth wall break jokes and always in those intros. That's just so funny. It's like specifically
there's good ones in every episode. They're so funny.
Yeah, and then there's one where it's like he points out to a specific worker. It's like, I didn't get the episode yet. I think someone on the crew really hates me. So funny.
Oh yeah, self-aware type humor. This show is really self-aware of how dumb it could be.
But it's just by the way,
I know it's like in a good way, you know. It's like in a way that's like very clear to the audience with the way everything is just like written and delivered, and everything about it is just like in this self-aware, built up to this self-aware tone that just works so well and makes it hilarious to watch. So that's what I really like about this.
Yeah, but anyway, let's move on to episode 2. Election Boogaloo. For some reason, this is the only episode that, for some reason, has episode 2 in the title itself.
Yeah, that's
because it has to do the electric boogaloo thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Abe is like advertising this.
Yeah, so Abe, essentially this one is about Abe becoming Jello Apocalypse. He's you have to vote for him.
You have to vote for him, and he's against JFK.
Which is perfect. It's a perfect like high school like tropey sitcom thing. Except this one goes in a very random turn as per usual. With Clone High, it's great. Very funny stuff.
Yeah, this is a funny.
I love the.
I like the friggin'. I like just Gandhi just drinking all this extreme blues stuff.
Yeah,
and it just turns him like into this blue. It's really it's a fun event.
Yeah,
so.
I think this is the only episode to like incorporate CG into the show. Unless there's another moment that I'm.
Yeah, that was a weird moment.
When they do his ads and there's a very obvious like for the drink, very obvious CGI. Very funny.
I like how it's like, instead of 2D being the weird thing in like a real world, it's 3D being the weird thing in the 2D world. It's like, that's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. They like that whole. Yeah. Also, it's such a farce, but it's really funny the ways like they try to one up each other if they're like. The way they try to hijack Abe's like speech is really funny.
Yes, like did he ever say
Abe said he was 15, and now he's 16.
He's 16.
Get your facts
straight.
I forgot about that like commercial campaign. I love that part. Yeah.
And then there's one like
so funny.
Abe says Abe never said that he said he would never eat babies. So what is there else to not expect? And then they showed us a drawing, and for some reason it just reminded me, that's the Flash.
Yeah, they used the freaking him eating spaghetti footage.
Yeah,
used it as like a commercial.
It's like, hey, how did JFK get that footage of me eating spaghetti?
And I also like how that leads to an after scene with this very over dramatic scene with Joan and Abe on this like dock, and I feel like the dialogue there is just really funny. I don't know.
So funny.
It's so funny how melodramatic it is, and
this entire episode is just a farce. I love it so much because it's just like there's nothing
but
genuine.
The way it just talks sometimes is inherently funny to me. I can't describe it, but it's
so we're also like kind of foreshadow here of Scudsworth plans of turning the clones into an amusement park. Like I don't know, that layout zoo, that's really funny. It's like
and then at the end for some reason Marilyn Manson shows up and that leads into the next episode,
which is about the food pyramid, which is a way more catchy song than it should be. But it's really
the food
so
pyramid
out of nowhere. I love it.
For some reason, Clonenheimer has a lot of early
songs. They have a lot of really good songs.
I'd say they're all well inserted. They're funny, but this part's great. I don't know much about Marilyn Manson, the person, but the food pyramid
makes like
song,
very dark music.
So you will die.
That's in the joke.
It's a joke. They singing a song about the food pyramid out of nowhere. That's really funny.
And the thing is that the food pyramid's now like outdated, and now like people use the food plate instead. So it's funny.
No, I think that makes it even funnier though. That he's singing very passionately about this outdated form of the American nutrition by American.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we did learn that.
This is even like thematically competent. So I don't know why each episode is like thematic, like just it's cohesive because you have like all these commercials and it's about the election. It's like, I get what you're doing, and it's funny.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of good laughs in this one. It's great.
I forgot to mention stuff in the first episode, just a joke I want to go back to. I love the scene with the boat where JFK's like making out with someone, and then he's like on it, get off of my dinghy, and then like he says that while he's mad at Abe for kissing Cleo. It's a funny scene. I forgot to mention. Yeah, let's try.
If I mentioned every
that eating whore, get off my dinghy.
Get off my dinghy. The voice acting's also really good in this. I forgot to mention. Great voice acting for everyone. It really adds to the self-awareness of the show for me.
Especially JFK. I think he was the main thing when Clonenheimer got like a meme revival. He was
it was that because he has my day was going good, but then boom,
nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys.
There's a lot of memes of those,
For a while, my only Clonenheimer knowledge was just JFK's voice, and I don't know how to feel about that.
That makes sense. But then before then, it was barren as hell. It was like,
I think I saw like
what? Shut up!
That joke's funny, but it's like the basic Clonenheimer thing.
Basic Clonenheimer thing.
I guess Nick.
If you don't know about subreddit lore, subreddit lore is basically. The Clonenheimer subreddit used to be barren. Every once in a while, people would do "say what" or "I started watching the show. It's pretty good." And then 2020, it's like, okay, so you have all the shippers. You have every.
Did you know that it had a cameo in Spider-Verse, guys? I know it's just obscure cameo.
Clone College, what the fuck? Like crazy. It's like, who cares? Okay, we get it.
Lord and Miller wanted to reference their show. I get it, guys.
I actually didn't notice that detail.
I had to point that joke out to you when we rewatched it, Anthony.
I can't imagine being active on the Clonenheimer Reddit subreddit in 2020. That would have been a nightmare. My good God.
I don't know. My only exposure to Clonenheimer before it got like heavily talked about was Nick Tendo's Clonenheimer video. I think I forget when that came out.
I think it was that actually came around the time when it got.
Okay. I think it's his like most popular video because of that like resurgence or something like that.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's a great video.
Great video. His sequel video about the revival.
We're not gonna get into that.
He says this is the best season.
Oh my God. This is why I prefer this Johnny Test content. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the third episode.
I don't have too much to say, but yeah, let's move on to ADD.
The last piece for this one.
Yeah.
So first of all, my first note about this one is that it has Tom Green from Freddy Got Fingered on it.
Yeah, he says a plastic bag. Plastic bag.
Which is, you know what?
Plastic bag.
See, I especially love his bit because it just feels like a Tom Green, like Freddy.
No, because because originally he's like meant to be like the guest star that informs the message, but every time he tries to do it, he's like, he just goes distracted. It's so funny. And also this gif, Happy Pride Month, where it's just a.
Oh yeah! Oh my god, this part is so funny because you think there'd be more context, but Abe's just sitting there and he sees like $1 bill and he's like, "Abe, you know what you gotta do," and he goes in for it.
And that solves the entire conflict. I love that.
No, the funniest part is like Gandhi goes in for it, but then after he's like, "Ew, why did you touch me?"
Dude, not cool.
Dude, not cool.
Oh, and if you look at that, like the background, like reactions of JFK.
The background reactions are so funny. JFK and Cleo are so funny.
Cleo was weirdly off model at this part, but it looks really funny.
Yeah. Also, there's a lot of good stuff in this episode.
Everyone's off model in the background. It's so funny.
Yeah. So this is when we learned that Gandhi has ADD, which maybe is why I relate to him so much. But I love the song. Okay, first of all, it has the iconic part where Gandhi is standing alone.
Did you hear? Yes, ADD.
Cloner has a lot of music I noticed in going through. They're all good bangers.
I find really funny.
Yeah, they're all great.
But no, I love it. And that part's so funny because it's this really over dramatic.
I remember when I first watched the show in one day, you were like, "Why are I was not expecting so many Clone High epic beats."
Yeah, me neither. But now it was great. They're all great. I love how dramatically they all react to it. They treat ADHD like it's something that you can like spread to people.
I love it. That's so funny.
ADD.
Yeah.
Am I gonna die?
Don't tell Power Revere. Don't tell Power Revere. Don't tell Power Revere.
Yeah. I also like the scene where Gandhi tries to high five Abe, and then Gandhi's just so offended by him not high fiving him, and it's like so.
High five.
Yeah, it also has the iconic Gandhi staring out the window thing, and that's also my desktop background. I need a minute to think about this.
That like specific screen cap is so funny. It's just like I don't know. Gandhi's like so.
Yeah, that's why I have it in like my background. It's so funny. And there's like this edit of him looking out like the Windows window, so it's funny.
Yeah.
No, I love Scudworth and Butler Chan just standing there.
Well, he just kind of looks out the window. I also don't mind the side plot with Joan, like just kind of hearing a bunch of weird the voices of God in her head, and then it's revealed to like coming out of her retainer. That's a nice callback from the first.
Yeah, those so nice.
Yeah.
I always forget about that.
Is the episode with but is this the episode of the Jesus Christo bid?
Yeah, I think
forget.
so.
Oh yeah,
it is. It is.
Okay, that part's so funny to me. I love that clone. There's a clone of Jesus, but no one cares about him, and they all mispronounce his name.
Yeah.
It's like funny.
Also, wait.
How did they get Jesus? How did they get Jesus'
body? Yeah, where the hell did they get that from? That's
where did it come from?
I don't know.
Jesus' tombstone.
It's not like we know like Jesus' actual corpse, so like.
Yeah, it's a funny joke nonetheless. This is a really funny episode. I love it.
This one is so stupid. I love it so much.
Yeah, just the premise just makes me laugh of how everyone just acts like I said, acts like ADD is just
it's so overdramatic. This contagious disease, and they're just all like staying away from Gandhi because of it. And he's like has this dance team thing he has to do, and he's like worried about it.
Yeah. Also, they presented it so dramatically. Like for some reason, Gandhi, like Abe laughs at anything Gandhi does, even him putting fucking random shit up his nose. And then they do a montage of this later. Where it's just Gandhi and Abe, and Gandhi keeps putting shit up his nose. And it's supposed to be a dramatic montage where Abe decides what he's gonna do. This show's so stupid. It's so funny.
It's clearly self-aware based off of like everything.
Yeah, definitely.
And the next one's even better because there's Film Fest Tears of a Clone.
Oh yeah.
I have to before I get to that, I also like mentioning the I like the Scudsworth and Butler Tron plot line here where he puts on his sweater and then that makes everyone act differently towards him.
Yeah, like
he wears the sweater and that makes JFK really like him for some reason.
That's funny. I like that.
Butler Tron's sweater is his secret power, apparently.
What do you know?
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
That's why he's so likable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess we can move on to the Film Fest one, which is another great one.
Okay,
Did you see the
can we
pool?
first
They
review the
flipped the
short film?
bitch.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like,
Wait.
let's first talk about the
A film fest,
back.
Tears of a Clone is great because it reminds me of the Simpsons classic, A Star Is Burned.
Star Is
They both have the
Burned.
same setup. But really, it's a good format because doing a film festival thing is a good way to utilize all your cast because you'd be like, oh, Gandhi's making a movie, Abe's making a movie, Jones making a movie,
Yeah, let's break
JFK's
down the
making a
movies
movie.
because you have Black and Tan. That one's great.
Mhm.
10 out of 10.
I love that. 10 out of 10.
Say
I like the
what?
peanut and say what? I know that's like the most
there's-
Yeah,
mean
George
skit, but I
Washington
love-
Carver gets a bit.
There's Cleo's movie that gets burnt. That one's great.
and no one understands it, which is funny to me.
There's Abe's with the giraffe.
The
not
the
forget.
giraffe playing football.
Don't forget that one.
I love that one. You see, Joe,
Yeah.
I was that giraffe.
And then in the truth where sideburns, that one's so good. 10 out of 10.
I also like
Oh
how
no,
this-
that one is so funny. Like the idea that Joan thinks this is, oh no, everyone's gonna find out, but no one notices because it's so pretentious. You can't get the
No,
point
right?
across.
I
Except
know,
for
there's
clone
one scene where they
Sigmund
mention,
Freud,
like,
he
oh,
got it.
Yeah, he got it.
Shut up, Sigmund Freud. He got it.
Yeah, the Thomas said this is like the projectionist, and for some reason he had something really against like Joan. It's
Yeah,
funny.
forgot to mention, but I
Yeah.
feel like this was around the time where it became huge. I love the plot point about Abe being so like oblivious to Joan's feelings
Oh
towards
no,
him.
it's so funny.
It's
in
so
this one,
funny.
where he's like, where Joan's talking about his personal film,
It's
and Abe's
so
like, wow,
funny
Joan,
how much
you're
he
such a
keeps
good
friends
friend.
from her. You're a real
How
How
friend.
could I be embarrassed by a
I
friend?
have
We
friends.
could be in the same bed together. Nothing weird would happen.
It's
so funny.
So much. It's so, Abe's so fucking stupid. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
hilarious.
it's very
Like,
charming.
people
to see
hate him
his-
for that for some reason, but like no, he's just kind of
It's
stupid.
charming
That's
to me.
kinda
He's the main straight man who's like oblivious to like a lot
Yeah.
of things and weird social skill. It makes him a very funny and enjoyable character.
Yeah,
We
he's
could
Yeah, and
also,
then
like,
the
well-
Vamp's casting couch guy where he just keeps getting women to audition, and it's just meant to just be for him just to
Yeah.
fuck and it's fun.
I like all the
you were.
yeah. This one's just a really funny one. Back to the Scudsworth and Butler Trump. I also like that thing with them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
with
yeah,
them
they have to
trying
like
impress
drag out
Shadow.
the CIA. Or
I like how as
they have
soon
to-
as Butlertron shows up, the shadowy figure just completely changed her mind on killing Scudsworth. I love it.
Oh no, I love the bit
That's
where
Yeah.
I love the bit where Scudworth walks into his house and it becomes like a sitcom thing, where it's like a
They have
audience
to-
applause plays. It's so funny.
Yeah, I like that plot point. Honestly, I like all this like fun side plots in each of these episodes.
They're all so
Say
funny. I love it.
It's
Yeah.
another quote.
Say what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Black and Tan is a 10 out
And,
of 10.
oh yeah,
masterpiece.
I like how the other dude joins in because Peony gets a role.
Yeah,
That's
the
like the-
peanut,
Yeah.
from the I like that. I
Is
like
it-
him. He plays the
Eat
main villain
peanut.
in the movie. Yeah, and I like
Great.
how the whole thing with the riot and how like near the end everyone decides to
Oh no, the
riot.
riot
Yeah,
is
I
so
love the
funny. 'cause
cycle.
It has,
It's like a so
at
funny
the
'cause in the
beginning, it
beginning-
happens for no stupid reason.
It's so
Stupid
random,
thing.
but
It's so
And-
random
and
because
then
it's
at
like
the end,
during
Abe
like,
is just like,
I'll just
is there like a
break-
track race and like even though like they lost, they just start rioting for no
for
reason.
no reason.
No,
It's so funny.
and then at the end during the film fest, Abe's like, "This is the best film fest." Am I
First
right,
ever,
Clone
right,
High?
Clone High?
And they come in,
And then they
"Yeah,
start
a little
rioting.
louder."
Yeah, even though the
They all
whole
just run
point
out.
of it in the first place was to
Destroying
not have
everything.
that happening, but it happened.
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah. Great, another great episode.
And then they just replay the exact same animation. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. I love I love the end joke of that one specifically where Abe's talking about the metaphor of it. And then Joan's like, well, if you were the giraffe, then who was the little girl? Good night, Joan. And they end the episode on that.
Yeah, I
It's
think the
great.
narrator says something about killing someone's dog, which I also found funny.
So that was
Wait,
really
no, that was
funny.
the other one. Yeah, never mind. Sorry, got mixed up for a second.
Next time on a very special Clone High.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that voice.
The next
Yeah.
one's literally me.
Next
Yeah.
one's
Yeah,
also
A
really
Sleep
fun.
of Faith. La Rue d'Awakening.
Or Joan. Wait, no, that's still wrong. Yes,
So basically, Abe has to study for the PXJTs. Like, he gets sleep deprived because he can't. He has to stay up studying. Meanwhile, Gandhi is goes under a trucker who doesn't actually exist. He's just
that reminded me of the critic episode where Jay Sherman becomes.
Oh yeah, no, I thought of that too. That. Oh, I love the scene where Gandhi reveals he's like a trucker to his
and then
parents.
his mom
like,
wants to kill herself.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna become a trucker. I'm gonna hang myself. I'm getting the good news.
I'm so insulted by him wanting to become a trucker. Yeah, I love that. I also enjoy the what was it?
I love the trucker guys.
The trucker guy,
so
yeah. And how it leads to Gandhi being able to get ready for the PXJTs. That leads to him growing. I love that part. You know, good for Gandhi. I don't think it's like an amazing episode, but I still think it's a great one. It's hilarious.
Good for him. Yeah. Oh, and the way the whole like Abe, Cleo, JFK thing goes in this one is so funny. That stupid escalation of it. Abe doesn't sleep the entire time. He wants to fuck Cleo or whatever, but then eventually this somehow devolves into.
Then when Abe like tries to sleep, it's like I'm gonna go to sleep. Oh, you're too tired? Well, I was just gonna stay up. I don't know anyone else is gonna stay up. And then JFK comes in, me, that's me, and he makes like a penis joke twice. That's so funny.
Stay up very long and hard. I hope I put emphasis on the long and the hard, which I hope are obvious reasons. Oh, and then the escalation is so stupid because for some reason now they have to go on a race around to see who's
that ever happens to the Kennedys.
Yeah, and then that part happens. It's so the way they.
Like how Abe still wins anyway, despite sleeping.
Yeah.
It's like the hair, but funny.
Yeah. We skipped over my favorite joke. The Gandhi talks about how he fell asleep watching American Pie. Didn't get to see the guy
and he's like, well, why don't you just rent it at a DVD store? And he just runs out.
God. No, he didn't.
He didn't.
Wow.
So good. I love this bit. That was a really good bit during the race bit where apparently JFK crashes in the famous line we've said a couple of times, but then apparently this entire time while JFK crashed, everyone was still there waiting for Abe to get all of his sleep before he could finish the race.
Yeah.
And at that time, JFK never figured out a way to like get out of his crash. He just waited. Everyone waited that entire time for Abe to wake up, and he's still not. It's such a stupid resolution.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the thing with Mr. Butlertron being jealous of this other test grading robot.
Okay, that one. This is a very specific memory, but the robot says infidels a lot, and it reminds me of the Hot Diggity Demon Ren and Stimpy video where Ren says infidels a bunch. That's a very specific connection, but that's what I was thinking most of that one.
Yeah, Scangrade's great. I love him. He's great.
Oh, yeah. Great episode. Relatable to me though. I get sleep, unlike most of you fuckers with bad sleep schedules.
Even Anthony has done a couple of those.
Not that bad.
Anyways, next is I think it's the Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming. A shot in the Ark.
I like this one a lot as well.
Another great.
Really
this was great.
The plot is so stupid. It's
I like how she just wears the mustache and then everyone believes it. And then
falls for it. JFK starts questioning his sexuality, which I find really funny.
Yeah, and then Cleo's like, I love Cleo's at the end. No, I like Cleo's at the end. It's just like, I almost made out with Joan. Ugh, that's hot. And it's just like so.
Yeah. I also like how petty friggin' Abe gets in terms of his jealousy over John Dark. It just falls for it.
It's funny, no one questions where Joan went. They're like, yep, no, this is a different person.
I know, Joan has been gone. Like, yeah, it's like you conveniently show up, and then Joe's been gone quite a lot lately. But anyway, it's like, It's so obvious what they did
Word.
there.
Also, I just love the Gandhi plot in this one as well, with the mascot costume thing. When he realizes that it's a living thing, when he friggin' zips his organs out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you tend to notice is all the Gandhi plots are very disconnected from the main story, but also it's really funny, so I don't care. Gandhi's
Other
great.
school is portrayed as Nazis. That's funny, right?
That's great.
Yeah.
I love Nazis.
What? Or
Yeah.
you just take that clip out of context and send it to a bunch of people.
That's fine. Love Nazis.
joking.
I'll say. But anyway. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great one.
Great.
Oh, this
I
one
don't think I have too much to say about this one.
This one just has one really good consistent, guys. There are never really deviations from that, which is why there's a lot less to say. But I do really like this one a lot because this is just such a stupid ass plot. And then she just wears a mustache, and then just everyone believes it, and then everyone is just like pining for her for no reason, even though before no one cares. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say. It's just another funny one.
Plane crazy, gate expectations. Stop that plane.
Okay, this one is fucking really stupid. But I love
this
it.
one.
So Cleo gets on a.
So
Ashley
Cleo
Angel's
has
dance
Angels this show,
who is I think is a 2000 celebrity.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
yeah, from
but
O Town,
he's
and he's like,
okay.
it's in
And then the whole conflict is Abe's like, Joan, you didn't wear my shirt. And it's so
and then at the end, like you notice, like it's like he zooms in, it's like, oh my god, she's wearing the sweater on my necklace, and it's so tiny for no reason.
So much that is so funny. He doesn't care about anything else, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing below the eyebrows. That's such a funny line to me.
I think for this one, my main note is the weird Looney Tunes B plot with Scudworth.
Scudworth, yeah.
Oh yeah,
so
yes. Try and catch me, bitch! It's so stupid.
They kill. I love how they keep overusing the person getting on the plane trope. I think that.
So stop that plane!
So much.
They even do it with the skunk thing.
Abe! Skunk! It's so stupid.
Friggin' Looney Tunes thing, like you mentioned, is also just really funny because how bizarre it is.
I just love how bizarre this episode is because it just recycles things over and over, and it becomes so annoying, but also really funny on how like the variations get even more stupider by like the second. It's so stupid.
Rocks the G spot. That's a thing, by the way. I forgot to mention that.
Oh yeah,
G
spot. I love that plot. I also like how this kind of sets up the classic dynamic of JFK and Gandhi, which I think works well. I love that dynamic between them.
Oh yeah, love that a lot.
Fun dynamics here. Just the characters are just hilarious in this show. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Technically, it also works well. Forgot to mention that technical.
Yeah, and then oh my god, there's so many stupid funny shit in this one.
Yeah.
Because Gandhi becomes like an international rap sensation. That's so weird.
Just for one song where he's just saying rhyming the same lyrics. G spot rocks the G spot.
It's just stupid songs.
He's such a funny character. I can't imagine anyone disliking him. Oh wait.
Oh wait a minute.
Hold up. We'll get to that later. Yeah.
The next one's even more funny. Good. Okay. Yeah. A Room for One's Clone, The Pie of the Storm. This one starts so strong.
This one is, I think, one of my not as good ones. However, it's still really great. It's
I just like it's just I love the start. It's just like.
I love how stupid the Joan Cleo conflict is. It's like so Joan has to live with Cleo, and then this causes some wacky hijinks because they both hate each other because they both high.
Yeah, and then they start like I remember they like at one point like fight and then start ripping their clothes up. It's so stupid.
And then freaking Gandhi and JFK just watch them do that because they're peeping toms. I thought that was funny. I also like I like
and then they have like a pillow fight, and then they all like all four of them like start having a pillow fight like in this like Looney Tunes-esque like hallway fights where they keep
and they cause like a conga line of people just fucking around. It's
so funny. I also don't mind the stuff with Abe trying to do what he can in order to fix the conflict. sometimes.
Oh no, it's funny because he's so oblivious to this whole thing. He thinks he's doing these simple conflict resolutions he learned in class to solve everything. Even though it's blatant that nothing works out.
Yeah, I love like Cleo's like stepmom. She's so terrible. I love her.
I also
She's
like.
just,
I forgot to mention. I like Joan's foster dad's character, Toots.
Oh yeah, Toots. I love Toots so much.
She's so. I may be blind.
I'm a bit blind.
But I know what my. He's.
I've been talking to the wall this whole time. You know I'm blind.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Bunch of blind jokes, but they're really
like for some
funny.
reason, Toots is like really good at basketball for no reason. I don't understand that, but he's just really good at it. And then for some reason,
He's a great character. I love him. Yeah.
I hate that they canonically reveal he died in season 2. I hate that.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Damn, really?
Yeah, they really ruined it for me.
The
But yeah,
Scudworth plot with Butlertron is also good with the robot dog that turns out to be spying on him. That's nice.
oh yeah, the robotic dog, and then like the Butlertron fights. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
I also really like the bit where, Abe goes on this cheap ass theme park ride for the actual Abraham Lincoln, and that like inspires him or whatever.
Yeah, and then it inspires him, and then it reveals this. They're just like changing the fight towards him, and they all make fun of him. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's a funny resolution. I like how they satirize these resolutions to all these like typical tropey conflicts in the. Yeah,
I like how that Abe just like takes notes, and then this other kid's there, and he's just like watching this happen. Like he doesn't know what to do about it because the ride stopped for that long just so that he can listen to the whole speech. And then he starts reading the speech, and he just can't even read the words. Like he's so in depth at like reading shit. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Next is
next is a raisin the steak, a rock
this one. This one's so funny.
Which is amazing. First of all, this one's a musical episode where everyone starts taking raisins by the influence of a guest star, Jack Black.
We start with everything's normal. Everything's normal.
Nobody's moping.
It's open.
Great song.
Yeah, all the songs of this one are great.
Just the idea of these kids smoking raisins is just so funny to me. I can't. It's so stupid, but so funny.
The way Jack Black introduces it is really funny. He talks about how he smokes all this different stuff.
I'll probably smoke
synonyms
raisins
for weed.
if it got you high, and then it was like, you could smoke raisins.
Yeah. And then they all go smoke raisins, even though nothing's actually happening.
Yeah, they're just fantasizing it. And they're like,
Meanwhile, Gandhi goes on a drug trip adventure with a dragon.
I remember that.
It's so stupid. Yeah. And then he realizes that the princess he's trying to save is like the very like unicorn donkey bird thing that was like taking him on this journey, and then he just like casually rejects her. It's so bizarre.
Like so awkwardly walk out.
Yeah.
I'll call you. Call you later.
Yeah. The Scudworth plot is probably one of the best ones with him trying to rule the PTA. And then how that clashes with the freaking raisins thing with Abe is so funny. The entire
they cause an uprising.
Build it higher.
Higher. Oh, that song's so good.
Yeah, the random ass musical numbers are also really funny here.
Yeah.
It's such a stupid episode, but it's just so funny with how like.
Oh yeah, so I love JFK. He gets in like his cast or whatever, and he's like has this whole thing. It's really funny.
Knock it off.
There's one part where I think he says, "Yeah." No, there's this one part where I think after he gets knocked out, he says something in reverse, and if you play that clip in reverse, it's JFK asking Clone High to get an
Yeah, that's what happens. It's like
I'm watching Clone. You all watching Clone High? Please get us an Emmy. I'm talking backwards.
It's so funny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, if you don't remember, there's a Powerpuff Girls episode where there's like this gnome dude. And originally, that was actually going to be Jack Black.
Oh, I know about this.
Yeah, but then they couldn't do that, and also that episode didn't air for other reasons because apparently it was like a bad influence or some shit. But yeah, originally that was going to be Jack Black, but instead he took on Clone High, and apparently,
I
Jack
thought he
Black.
was the guest on both. That's what I.
Yeah, Jack Black didn't want
I guess he
his
doesn't
name
want
to be said out loud because he didn't want to be associated with this for some reason. Even though he chose to guest star, it's weird.
Yeah, I like him playing the pusher thing as well in the musical number and stuff like that. And then it turns out to be Jack Black the whole time. That's funny.
Yeah,
that's
whoa.
Yeah, this is one of the funniest ones. One of the best, my favorites.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's the next one again? This one.
Literally.
Well, actually, no, I'm transitioning to the next one.
This one is also.
No, I was gonna say so. Yeah, all thing I do have with the last one. Apparently, there's a bunch. I watched this one video that points out like in the drug trip parts, there's like random symbolism or whatever. And on one part, for like a split second during one of the drug bits, you can see the text "I killed Ponce" on screen, which bam goes right into this one. Because I heard about this. I'll link the video if I can find it. But apparently, they did that.
Wait, was there an implication? Like, did they like what character appears after that, or like what does it point to?
I think it's like one of JFK's bits or something. I don't know. There's something like that. I'll link the video. It's interesting. And also, this one is one of my favorite. Previously on a very special Clone Highs, because they're talking about how they're gonna kill off a character for real. This isn't some cheap rating stunt. A character dies tonight, and it's Ponce.
Ponce.
Ponce. Ponce the Leon. You know him. Great character.
Yeah, you know him.
Great character. Yeah. We all know him.
Yeah,
we all know him.
He's a chill guy who ends up dying from liver.
Way more than I should. I got like.
Just
Jay
so emotional about it with his grief, and everyone comforting him. It's so funny because like how stupid the whole thing is.
Oh, the way he dies is hilarious because he literally the litter kills him.
Yeah,
the litter literally kills him. Literally. Like it's so stupid.
Yeah.
I love it.
Notice that Ponce's dad also works at the school, and then there's a scene where Scudworth like fires the janitor.
Right as
job. Oh my god! You can go spend more time with your family.
Like now, man. Also, this is one of the best Gandhi like subplots with his warm-ups. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and that gets him sent to prison. It's so funny. I love that.
Yeah. Also, Ponce is just such a chill dude that you just feel so emotionally impactful when he dies. Such a great moment. Yeah, I like it. It's a great episode. It's just so funny. Everything about it is just like introducing this new character and then just like killing him off and seeing everyone just reactions to it. The stuff with JFK especially was really funny. I love that as well.
Yeah. So maybe littering is good. Moderation.
Yeah.
In moderation. It's a great. Yeah. I do really like it though because it has this really good like balance where it's like it's funny for sure, but I think on an emotional level it does. I don't know, like I said, it genuinely did kind of get.
I think this kind of leads into like JFK's growth and why he has sex with Joan at the end of the series, and it kind of leads into that where he becomes more sympathetic towards like less popular students, and it's like nice. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like, there's actual.
And then they put the one song at the end, "Meaning of Goodbye." I get really sad at that part, and I listen to that song a lot because of fucking Clone High. But it's great. I love this whole thing. Probably my favorite out of the 13 episodes here. But yeah, there's a lot of really good ones.
By the way, that janitor is played by the co-creator Bill Lawrence, and you know what else Bill Lawrence worked on? Scrubs, and guess what he played on Scrubs? A janitor.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What do you know?
Suspicious. Coincidence?
I
think not.
Not. Wow.
What's the next one?
The next one is a Snowflake Day, a very special holiday episode, which for some reason aired after the finale, which is very weird, but we'll ignore that.
This one is good.
This one's pretty good. Not amazing, but it's solid.
It's like amazing. Like I think it's a good episode. I think there's a lot of funny jokes.
This is the weakest Clone High episode.
Yeah, it's
to
one
me.
of the weaker
Actually,
ones. Definitely, in my
I'd call the
opinion.
finale the weakest episode.
It is. Yeah, I don't love it. There's some funny jokes here. I like.
Yeah, no, I like the JFK musical bit. Even though Lord and Miller just stole their own joke for Spider-Verse.
I like Gandhi and Abe's stupid invention, Thork, and how that ends up brutally harming Abe. That's pretty funny. I don't know. I'm just not. I'm like I thought the stuff with like Joan accepting the meaning of Snowflake Day is fine. Some funny jokes we get, such as like the stuff with what's her name again? It's like the homeless girl and the
I forget her name, but she was like very
another
important
2000 celebrity. I forget.
Mandy Moore, yeah.
Yeah, Mandy Moore. Yeah, her, and she like.
I remember her more for the next time on a very special Clone High where they do a bit. Now say I love Clone High. Yeah. I love Clone High. It's great, but yeah, I don't know. I just find the concept of Snowflake Day. I find inherently kind of funny. It's like,
yeah.
They made up their own non-religious specific holiday, and they got JFK to sing a Christmas album about it.
Funny, yeah,
it's like great. That. Yeah,
I don't have much to say
not like a particular favorite, but it's fun.
It's a good one. I like it. One of the weaker episodes.
It's okay. Like John learns. It feels too serious with this message. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything that great. Like, it's definitely one of the weaker ones. I don't think it's like, I agree, but I still enjoy it nonetheless. So, yeah.
I have a lot of, I got a lot of facts from the daily Clone High thing that I just pulled up, but I'll save that for later.
Yeah, save that to the conclusion, I guess.
Anyways, I talked about the last two.
The next one we got is makeover. The makeover.
Hey, yeah.
For you and me.
Anyways,
I love the montage. That stupid part. And then like Cleo and Joan rob a bank. Montage.
Yeah, it's basically I don't know. It's like everyone's getting ready for the Clone High prom, and it's like it's a great one. I really love the JFK and Gandhi subplot with JFK turning Gandhi into GFK. I thought that was hilarious.
The visual of Gandhi looking like JFK is really funny.
Yeah, just the way he looks. I love that plot.
It's kind of like Jeff turning into the Dean. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's true actually.
Yeah, it's funny.
Struck gold. Save it for the screen. But yeah, that's great.
The other main plot with like Abe trying to make over Joan. I still like how they remain like.
His obliviousness is hilarious.
Yeah, that's what I like about his character. I think that's you could tell that he's like a nice guy with.
I will help you. We gotta spend some alone time.
Yeah.
By making over. And it's just like makeover.
Every time they play that song, it's more and more like
it gets more and more crazy. The last, the final one where it's just like, Joan and Cleo just rob a bank. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And then there's Scudworth throwing a temper tantrum over John Stamos for beating him as prom king, which is so funny to me. I just love him.
You're saying Stamos.
It's so funny how angry he gets at this, and
I guess we could talk about both episodes because they kind of are
blend together. They're like two parters.
We can talk about changes.
Other than it's just really funny.
Now time for changes. The big prom, the sex romp, the season finale. Great title, by the way.
It's like
see, my thing with this episode is I think it is good until the last couple minutes where things kind of fall apart for me, but that's kind of his whole thing.
Yeah, I'd say the first part is funny, like John Stamos coming in.
I know, I'm conflicted on this. I like the Stamos stuff. That's funny. I love that Scudworth is like, even after like Scudworth like literally stabs him, Stamos is like so forgiving.
He just
like he's still forgiving
and even helps him out. Yeah, so basically now the Board of Shadowy Figures are trying to kill Skudworth. Also, not to mention, I like how they revealed in one of these episodes that Skudworth got his idea for the clone zoo from Jurassic Park 3.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, just specifically the third film. They gave him the.
One of my favorite parts is where Gandhi learns about sex tolerance. That's so good.
He pulls up to the prom with the gang, just to homies trying.
And he keeps asking, like, do you want to do a threesome? And just keep asking. It's just never
Gandhi's
happening.
attempts at getting dates are really funny. Like I said, he's a hilarious character who's absent from the reboot or remake or season 2, whatever the fuck you want to call that. But yeah, sadly. But we get into
actually, they would have ruined Gandhi if they brought him back.
True.
So maybe
that's
it
true.
I
heard that they ruined all the other characters.
No, they would have made him the one who gets canceled, and they would have made him.
Oh no, I hate that. They totally would have. Gandhi would just do his usual shit, and you get canceled. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, that would suck.
It'd be like a self-commentary on the Gandhi controversy. Like, shut up.
Yeah. Anyway,
oh god. Oh no. I don't like that. No.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get to the problems with the finale with all the clones freezing.
I think the clones getting frozen is just gonna inherently be abrupt. Like you can't do that.
You can't go away from it, but at the same time, I think they somehow fit that because the concept for Clonenheimer is basically that they can't live their own lives. They are controlled inherently by Skudworth and the League of Shadowy Fingers, and so they can't lead their own lives, and ultimately it's a tragedy. And now in an almost dark comedic sense where they're basically under the shadow of like who they once were, which is why they act like basically the opposite of who they were in real life, and why they always have to look up to the real figures. And in a way that's kind of depressing to think about, and inadvertently it kind of helps the finale be more depressing for its ending than it should be. But at the same time, it's still abrupt as fuck, and it's not built up the best, and that's why I still kind of have problems with it. But I still like the finale, I think.
No, I still like it. It's still funny.
Yeah.
I do like the twist eventually they go with it. Abe finally finds out Joan, and they play all like the clips of him being super fucking oblivious before this to emphasize how nonsense the whole thing is.
He finally understands it now. Pretty funny. I like that realization with him.
Great.
Yeah, it's a weird ending. I do agree, but it's still an enjoyable episode. I'd say. I don't think there's one bad episode of Clonenheimer at all. So I'll give it that. The worst
this
one
original
is just
series definitely not
good, but yeah, most of these episodes are really solid, and it's overall a great little series. I don't know if I have much else to say about the finale. I think we could start talking about other stuff like the facts and what's about the show and the Gandhi controversy that led to it being canceled. So
you might be wondering, why is Clonenheimer only a 1-season show?
13 episodes.
Well, you see.
First of all, I think the views were very high.
First of all, it aired its full season chronologically, for the most part, on Teletoon, right? Everything was going good, and split rights. Despite that, they were expecting, they can make a second season. And then when they aired it in the U.S., what happened was one thing besides the main reason why it's canceled is the U.S. did not air the final 5 episodes. So, Litter Kills all the way up to the finale were not aired on MTV. No one saw the conclusion of the show until 2016. That's how long it took.
Wow,
that was how bad it was for the US. They weren't allowed to see the finale of the show unless getting a Canadian bootleg of the show. That's how bad it was.
Wow. Thanks.
It's a marvel this show could even get a revival considering that. Fuck, I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, and then even more markets, other markets, and let's talk about when they aired in India. Now,
good old India. Let's just say
the problem here. No, okay, I know most people think it is India saw Clonenheimer or watched it, but no, they did not even watch Clonenheimer. The problem was they were protesting another cartoon, which blatantly actually like makes fun of Gandhi and his beliefs, not in the satirical way. They do it in a satirical way rather than a funny, goofy way like Clone High does, you know? Like that's all for jokes, but like the actual comic, the one that they originally protested, was actually very harmful. But like just cause it was a comic, when they searched up cartoon Gandhi, they found Clone High, which means that basically Clone High was accidentally fucked by an entirely different controversy. And so they started protesting. They had a hunger strike.
It was just anarchy. It was insane.
MTV.
It's insane how that even happened.
Like, damn, it was
and another thing that happened was that not just like regular employees were there. The CEO of MTV was there. He was in the building and he saw everyone on a hunger strike, and he was trapped there along with everyone else, which made things even worse.
Yeah.
And so when you have that and a combination of other things, Clone High wasn't going to survive.
Yeah.
It was not going to survive.
And so
see, I don't know, to be honest, I don't even see, even without the whole Gandhi controversy, I don't see a timeline where Clone High is a success when it came out. Because if you look at basically late 90s, early 2000s, MTV started like a bunch of cartoons. However, each one they would start would not.
Basically, the late 90s,
I think Mission Hill,
late 90s to early 2000s were basically the grounds for every single dead cartoon in existence. Duckman lasted 3 seasons. 3 seasons. That's monumental for that.
Well, Duckman weirdly got a lot, which was
that's monumental. Monumental. And then
considering how weird it is, the point is,
Family Guy got canned. Futurama got canned. Mission Hill forever gone. So was Clerks the animated series. So was pretty much every single adult anime cartoon.
So the point is, all those shows. See, MTV started shows, but they never gave them enough attention or enough like grounds to do anything with it. That they all got canceled immediately, except for Beavis and Butthead. I guess that was their like golden boy. Wow.
Golden child and Darcia, I guess.
Oh yeah, Daria, but. I don't know. I did hear to link it back to the Gandhi thing. I had heard some ideas for what they were gonna do. One idea they had is that they were gonna.
Originally they were gonna reveal it was Gary Coleman.
It was Gary Coleman. I was just saying.
Yeah, I think about that.
Yeah, which to be honest, I think they should have just done that.
That would be funny.
See, I don't know, the weird thing about Gandhi, right, is they always what they were apparently protesting over was how he was a horrible depiction. But see, I don't think there are many jokes about Gandhi that actually link to the in real life person.
There's one joke where it's like, you know what Mahatma Gandhi stands for? It's revenge. Yeah, but, that's clearly that doesn't joke.
Well, no, but I don't know. See, the whole joke of Gandhi, at least to me, was that every other historical figure has like some link, but then they're like, okay, let's pick, I don't know, Gandhi, and then he's a party animal. That's his whole thing. That's what I found funny about him. But no, I guess they didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
It was a very
not to mention
depiction.
The real Gandhi allegations was not the best person, so that's all.
Okay, do you guys want me to detail the real things he did?
I'm good. I'm good for now. I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. Basically, to say there's a bit of incest, a bit of pedophilia.
Let's just say that. We'll just leave it at that. But
a bit of that. A bit of there.
Yeah. Anyways,
one funny part of the Gandhi thing I did hear about is apparently Lord and Miller were gonna try to appeal this by being like, we're gonna send that episode where Gandhi is portrayed as a normal human being to counteract this, and they literally could not find one where he doesn't do anything stupid. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Not a single one.
Yeah.
Not a single thing. That's so bad.
Yeah,
it's kind of hilarious to be honest, but oh well.
It's a shame that this show only got like one season for its
time.
Got
dealt the most dirty hand in existence.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
And the only more stuff we have with it turns out to be really bad from what I've seen with the
Well, okay, I can take
we'll never
Topher
watch.
He sounds great. The new character,
Chris Columbus.
Topher Bus is so funny. it's almost ironic that he's like the only good part, and everyone hates him in that show. So that's weird.
Ironic.
They put Mr. Sheepman and Marilyn Manson in the council corner. That's your reason not to watch
You are
Clone High.
canceled.
That's your reason.
Yeah.
Also, Gandhi they forgot to unfreeze Gandhi. That's the reason why he's not.
Oh, let's not forget.
No, it's so stupid because they don't explain why. He just isn't unfrozen.
Here's the problem here. So they first say. So Abe says he remembers, Gandhi. In the finale, they reveal we've erased all memories, even though that makes no sense. First of all, because why would Joan and JFK be in a relationship? Why would they remember previous events? But
they make a joke in the first episode about how Abe's like, usually my bro Gandhi would be here to talk to me about this.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
that's what
like,
they did.
How would he remember that? Also, that joke sucks.
Yeah, and then they also make another joke. It's like, who's Gandhi? And I'm like, fuck off. You're both ruining the lore of your own show already. And then second of all, you're just being annoying about it.
Yes. All right.
I heard that apparently, I don't know. Apparently, what Lord Miller's plan is, if Clone High ever gets to a season 4,
bring him back in like
they'll try to bring back Gandhi. However, I don't want Clone High to get to a season 4 at this rate. Do we really want a Clone High?
Well, you see, the problem is, it's already confirmed that after, because they didn't order a 1-season show, they ordered a 2-season show. So we're getting 2 seasons of the revival show already by contractual obligation. So sorry. Yeah.
I don't know if it'll get renewed beyond that, because I hear some people be like, "Well, revival actually gets pretty good by the end," which I doubt that. But I don't know. Has it been that much of a success? Like it's talked about, but not like overly, at least from what I hear. But we'll see. Maybe a season 4. We'll find out.
Overall,
well, you see, it's a bit of a mixed response where some people hate it, some people love it, some people are just in the middle about it. Yeah. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just gonna talk about some fun facts. Here we go. So the 2-headed Olsen twins from the Raising the Stakes or Rock Opera and 3X. They had alternate names where it was going to be Serena and Venus Williams. It would have been also the Barbie twins. Okay. It also could have been Stephanie and DJ from Full House. It's the consistent Full House thing. It also could have been Renee Zellweger and Jewel. It also could have been Lucy Liu and Lisa Ling. It also could have been the 3 blondes from 3 companies. It also could have been Paul Abdul and Jennifer Lopez. There was a lot of weird options there. And there used to be a Clone High USA webpage, and there's a bunch of like weird archive shit that they found, like icons for certain episodes. And apparently, the fact is, Clonenheimer was released on only DVD. It hasn't gotten a Blu-ray release. And second of all, it's an outdated 2005 DVD, and you can't tell whether or not it's the USA version or not. So be careful if you ever try to buy this show. It's impossible.
It goes for like 100 plus on eBay. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I love a good release, but that's not happening. So,
this image, there's this image of Gandhi that people are using as memes. Where it's this pose. For some reason, that's actually just fan art. That's fan art. That's not real.
That's not official.
That's not official.
Oh, that's pretty official. That's pretty on model.
See, then there's these random like archive stuff from the Clone High USA like website, and those used to be filled with forums and like a bunch of other stuff. It even included interviews from Phil Lord and Chris Miller, and there's constant updates. There's even this missing thing. I love this screenshot. It's more than this. Yeah, and there was even a Clone High newspaper thing. You can like read letters, and there was even student bios, which was pretty cool. And I found some original sketches of certain characters, and these are all just like neat stuff. You don't need to show that in like the video, but yeah, these are all like cool stuff. And Daily Clone High is a great. Daily Clone High is a neat stuff for all this stuff. And I've read a couple articles of when the show originally aired, and it's like a generally just like apparently Bill Lawrence, he was just kind of he didn't really want to make Clone High. He just wanted to guide like young writers. And so this is the closest bet he got. It's like, okay, yeah, these two guys are out of college. Let me teach them about like writing. And so that was cool. And there's a lot of just neat stuff about the show. It's just not as much as you think there would. There's some missing dialogue pieces if you want to see some. There's like this, which Carl's Marx, he says, "Hey, Mr. B," and the Butler Tron says, "Carl and Groucho, my two favorite Marx brothers." Has the class struggle. There's some fun stuff here. But yeah, I recommend checking out the Daily Clone High stuff. Nintendo sadly can't keep up since he's running out of stuff to even like put. So yeah, check that out. That's cool. Also, you should check out Nintendo's videos on Clone High. Those are fun videos. I love them. But yeah, I love this show a lot. I appreciate a lot about it.
Yeah, it's a great show. I enjoyed finally watching it a lot. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think it's
Finally watched the show. Wow.
Yeah.
You did it.
Anyways, so also
So
in terms
proud
of
of you.
technical aspects I mentioned, I like the animation style, the fast-paced comedy, the character, just everything works really well for me.
Yeah, here's the original
The
concept.
style I do like the stick like outlines and everything looks great.
Yeah.
Apparently, I have one more thing. Apparently, for the ADD episode, there was originally some different stuff. There was a point in the episode during the brainstorming where they were just making ADD a more obvious metaphor for AIDS, and all the kids misspread information. And one of the lines was going to be, "I heard Tom Green had sex with a monkey with ADD, and that's how you started it."
Yeah.
Well, that's certainly something.
Yeah, that's certainly something.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot
Alright.
of on the barrel facts, but yeah. But I could talk about the revival, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but I don't
I
know.
don't know. We don't have to talk about that. We're good.
I think I could for a brief because
You've ranted about it so much. It's not necessary.
I think it's
There's
necessary
multiple
to
videos I think
It's
you
not.
can check out that I think would summarize that well.
Okay, fine. If you're
Any
not gonna
kinda-
do that, check out Dumbsville's video. Check out Just Thoughts video, and don't check
Yeah,
out
watch Dumbsville's like
YouTube
Clone
video.
High revival video. That's great. Watch
Don't-
Just Stop's video. Those are great.
Do not watch Nintendo Season 2 video. Do not, please.
Even
Do
though
not.
just-
As a fellow Nintendo head, it's not worth it.
Not worth
Watch
it.
just a new Simpsons ads video instead. That's great.
That one's great.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yes.
I guess we could get to our ratings. I'd give this a high.
Alright.
I might switch it to a 9 later, but I'm gonna keep it at a high 8 for now. I could see myself raising the roof later on.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You raising the stakes. you
Yeah,
might
that
say.
that too.
Yeah. I would give Clone High a solid 9 out of 10 as an overall show. Very funny, very all that we've said. Great.
Yeah.
Great
Probably one of the
stuff.
most important, television programs. Is probably one of the most funny. So has some really great animation. I love that it takes a lot from MPA stuff, and Powerpuff Girls. That stuff is all cool. For me, the show is I switched between the 95, 96 out of 100. I really like the show a lot.
Yeah.
Well, it's high in your scale. That's what matters.
Pretty high. That's a 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 for you simple folks. But yeah.
Anyways, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Cast. Nice to have Zander on here for the 4th goddamn time. But
hey, it's about 2 things.
You're our longest running guest now. I don't know how you feel about that, but that's your thing.
I could keep going.
You'll see him when the next Leprechaun movie comes out and whatever.
Oh, I'll sneak my way into a random episode just when you least expect it.
Yeah, check out his channel, his podcast, and stuff. So
check out my Elemental video, both of them. I got a Ruby.
Actually, maybe don't check out his Elemental video. We need to leave that behind.
Yeah.
No, actually, go check them out. Go.
That's a great video, but
yeah.
Check out my podcast, The Dumps. Check that out too. Check out all my content. Watch me in my Letterboxd review. Please give me likes. Anyway,
thank you for watching.
Thank you guys for having me on again. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye-bye.
See you guys and bye-bye.
Next time on a very special Clonenheimer, one of the guests will be horribly killed. My money's on the movie, dude.